I am here to talk about not Silicon Valley, the place. Silicon Valley has two meanings. It's a place, but it's also a philosophy of embracing risk. And I live in Silicon Valley, the philosophy. My twin brother wanted to start his own company, and he asked me, could I give him my top three pieces of advice, 3 lessons that I've learned to help him with his company. And I said, that's easy. Number 1, hire great people. Number 2, hire great people. And number 3, hire great people. I have since been successful not only as an entrepreneur, but as an investor, not because I can identify good ideas. In fact, I don't think I can judge ideas any better than anyone else in this room. I'm good at judging people, and I have found that the best way to be successful, not just as an entrepreneur, but as an investor, is to invest in people. So I'll give you a few stories of how this has helped me. Nobody wanted to invest in Zappos. The whole valley was rejecting Tony. I didn't really believe in the idea, but I knew Tony as the person, and I decided to invest in Zappos because I believed in him. And I thought maybe he will stop the shoe part and do something better. Zappos went on to become very successful. It was acquired by Amazon for almost $1 billion, and this was a very successful investment for me. Another example, an entrepreneur named Dan Yates, when he told me he was starting a new company, he didn't have a name for the company, he didn't have a bank account yet, he really didn't have anything. But I wrote him a check, a blank check, and I said, once you know the name, just fill it in here. And we invested in Dropbox because we loved the people. It was not a new idea. It was that these 2 guys had built a prototype that was more elegant than anything else out there, and they were great engineers. So my message here is that I've been successful not by investing in good ideas, but by investing in good people. My second message today is about risk. If you want to be successful in Silicon Valley, you need to embrace risk. Most of us are taught to try to figure out ways to reduce risk. A great way to reduce risk is diversification. And if you're an investor, that's a good idea. If you're an investor, you should invest in 10 things and you're diversified. If you're a big company, that's also a good idea. But if you are a startup, why would you want to reduce your risk? Your risk is actually one of your biggest advantages. It's that you are willing to do something that the big guys are afraid to do. I would say as a startup, you should not diversify. Concentrate your risk. Have only one brand name. Have only one product. Don't have 3 revenue streams. Have 1 revenue stream. That way you can do one thing really, really well and move faster than anybody else. You're not guaranteed to succeed, but I can tell you if you diversify, you have even less chance of succeeding. Because people have limited attention, and when you are small, the basic thing is you want people to remember who you are and what you do. If you're focused on just doing one thing really well, that's when you have a chance at becoming a Silicon Valley success. Don't build something because you think investors want to invest in it. Build something that you are passionate about. Even if you're crazy, do what you believe in. Because somebody is already out there who is just as crazy and who likes what you're doing. And then your challenge is just to find that person. More broadly, I'd say the best entrepreneurs aren't building something because they want to make money. They're building something because they want to help people. You can create value. You can create something that people will want. And if you succeed at doing that, you will make money. The best entrepreneurs, my favorite businesses, are where the founder is creating something that he or she wants. And the example of this is Drew from Dropbox. I think he was on a train, and he wanted his files, and he had forgotten his USB drive at home. So he was stuck on this long train ride. He had forgotten his USB drive. So he was, what should I do on my train ride? Well, I'm going to write a software so that next time if I forget my files, I don't need to go back home for them. I could access them from anywhere I am. So he began writing Dropbox on the train because it was something he needed. If you want to be a Silicon Valley startup, don't do something that is just going to make the world 10% better. Do something that will completely change the world. In Europe, I've met a lot of companies that are afraid to do something too bold, too risky. To have a Silicon Valley startup, you need to think of a crazy, completely new world and then create that world. And the best example for that is Airbnb. Airbnb is the idea that instead of going to stay at a hotel, they didn't think, how can we make hotels more efficient? They said, why do you even need hotels? You just go stay at some stranger's house. What? I mean, that's a crazy idea, but they thought, we'll make it and we'll see if it works. And they did it, and it has worked. And in New York, Airbnb today rents more rooms per night than the entire hotel industry of New York combined. And my last piece of advice, I've talked a lot about risk and how to succeed, but this is actually very important. If you're going to fail, you want it to happen quickly. The worst fate for an entrepreneur, and I can say this because this happened to me, the worst situation is if you survive, and 4 or 5 years later, you have survived your way into into oblivion. You either succeed or you fail. And if you can do that quickly, then life is good, because if you fail, you still have time to do something else. So my advice is, do one thing, focus on it, hopefully it's successful. But if it's not successful, you'll find out quickly, and you can fail quickly, and you have time to move on to the next thing. Thank you very much, everybody.